When is the bull run going to start? This was from TNet Crypto. And Mr. X said, this was back last week of October. He said, it hasn't started.
I'm not a financial advisor.
Mr. X's response reflects his tendency to remain cautious about predicting market movements. With Bitcoin now reaching all-time highs, it's clear that significant market changes can occur rapidly, and emphasizes the importance of staying informed and being prepared. From John Milton, what does Mr. X think or know when the bull run for crypto will end, and what will be the next market liquidity will flow into? What is his expected total market cap range for the top? Mr. X does not predict prices, timing, or market caps. He's previously mentioned that economic stresses are expected to become more evident in the coming year. And this was from Ray from the gym, and we had answered this live. He had a follow-up here. Can you offer insight into what led Senators Chuck Schumer to vote to overturn SAB 121? Mr. X said he's a politician, does as he's told. This response reflects Mr. X's view on the nature of political decisions, suggesting that such votes may often be influenced by external pressures and party alignment rather than personal conviction. It underscores the notion that political actions can be motivated by broader agendas rather than solely by the merits of the issues at hand. Question from Clinton Q. Clinton gets a couple in here. He's been on the channel for a long time. Appreciate you as a member of the Bit Squad there, Clinton. I mine Caspa. How high do you see it going? He said, I do not comment on any specific coins. I occasionally suggest to Ben to keep an eye for a few. We'll talk about some of those in a minute. Caspa has performed well price-wise, and being listed on more significant exchanges could enhance its opportunities. I think that's a hidden hint there, I believe. Currently, I am not aware of any plans for major finance players to invest in it. He's telling you, bull run and get out. That's what he's telling you. He says currently, it could change, though. This response highlights Mr. X's cautious approach to specific cryptos, reinforcing the idea that potential and success are often linked to broader market conditions and institutional interest rather than just individual coin performance. And this was before the election, but Clinton said, is it true that if Kamala wins, she'll make Gary Gensler the new treasurer? He said, don't care, doesn't matter.
I love that.
Don't care, doesn't matter. It reflects his indifference towards specific political appointments. It's not important, suggesting he focuses on the broader systemic issues. We've already talked about this a million times. Is Proppy and GFI backed by BlackRock? From Harvey Shahal, another longtime viewer. Since BlackRock announced its BITL fund, there has been increased attention and enthusiasm in the real-world asset space, or RWAs, benefiting several RWA tokens. However, I have no knowledge of BlackRock investing significantly in either Proppy or GFI. This response highlights Mr. X's focus on the broader implications of BlackRock's influence in the RWA sector. While interest may grow, it does not guarantee investment in specific projects. It emphasizes the need to look critically at potential endorsements and market dynamics rather than relying solely on names or affiliations. Yeah, I hope you guys are really understanding what Mr. X is saying in a lot of these answers, man. He's giving you such good insight. And this is stuff that's been preached into me ever since I reached back out. Well, really from the beginning, but specifically since last December. Question, you ready for this one? Mm-hmm. Are aliens real or are they just a distraction? Woo! Mr. X said, I addressed this during the AMA live stream, noting that given the vastness of our universe, it's likely that other life forms exist. However, I mentioned that the current hype around aerial sightings primarily involves man-made aircraft. Mr. X has previously suggested, and this knows what Mr. X thinks about things, that and has said that some unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP, might actually be advanced technology from our own future rather than extraterrestrial sources. This perspective highlights the importance of critical thinking and skepticism regarding sensational claims, encouraging an examination of the technology we currently possess and the potential for future innovations that could explain these phenomena. We'll get into time travel here in a second, guys. We'll get there at the end.
Say that's wild, because like you think about the pyramids, like it'd be really easy to spot those people coming from the future to come help you out. Now, because we got a lot of tech, things are not just in a desert. It's a little bit tougher to spot that.
I mean, you guys can, like, his answers to these are not the normal answers you hear from people that are like trying to. He just answers it very simply. He's not trying to tell you about a story, about a thing that happened to prove to you that it's real. He's just telling you. Does the world still view the USA as the strongest military power, particularly in areas near Taiwan? The The USA would certainly like to think so. However, I'm not sure other nations would necessarily agree. Mr. X's perspective suggests that the perception of military strength is not just about capability, but also about influence and strategic positioning. With China's growing military presence and advancements, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, the balance of power is shifting. Remember, 500-year cycle, east to west, we're right at it. Right now, according to Cycles in World History, Ray Dalio, Changing World Orders, the power is shifting from the west to the east right now. But interestingly enough, it's happening in a decentralized way as you have countries from all over the world that are now actually linked with the East in this power swing. Mr. X says, as well, it implies U.S. must not only demonstrate strength, but also navigate complex geopolitical relationships to maintain its status. This is from my guy, Jake the Crypto Snake. These are some questions, I believe, from YouTube. Can Mr. X explain why he picked ONDO and PYTH? From Jake the Crypto Snake. Chris Burns, does Mr. X know who Mr. Pool is? And is Mr. Pool in the know? I don't know who Mr. Pool is. Who is this mysterious character? Is it somebody people know about, or is this somebody only you know about? Well, if there is any probably link to what he's saying, there's a specific reason he's probably asking in that way, I would think. It might trigger something from Mr. X. It might say something about it. Maybe not. I don't really know anybody that can. I don't know anyone that could do those kinds of things with Mr. X, but maybe there is someone out there. Maybe the senior is in the chat. Okay. Mr. X's answer to why he chose ONDO and PYTH was, I did not pick ONDO and PYTH. I simply informed Ben to keep an eye on them, and I will tell you it was a more significant keep an eye on them than this is what I'll say. A lot of times when he discusses projects, like he has brought up Proppy to me before, he has brought up, I think it's called Zeus Finance, I think it is, something like that. He brought up that one to me one time. He's brought up Filecoin, and that's when I believe he's right on. Or I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm saying I believe Filecoin's going to do very well, and he gave me some information that will kind of indicate that it could, right? ONDO and PYTH, he didn't use any external sources to say, this is definitely, look at this, you should watch this because of this. This person said this to me. He said, these are ones you should keep an eye on. So I hope that's clear. Like, I wasn't trying to put words in his mouth, but certainly ONDO and PYTH, and he's connected me to a lot of people in that world between those coins. And, so he said, I simply informed Ben to keep an eye on them. Was that good advice? Yes. Mr. X's perspective emphasized the importance of vigilance in the rapidly growing and changing crypto landscape, suggesting keeping track of projects like ONDO and PYTH is crucial for identifying potential opportunities. He encourages continuous education and awareness of innovative financial technologies, which can be pivotal as the market evolves. Watching Ben's recent interview with Michael Cahill provides further insights into the relevance and potential of PYTH in the current environment. And you got to wonder, guys, Gotta wonder. Yeah, it's making connections with a lot of folks, not just in the ONDO and PYTH world, but also beyond. Many major connections on LinkedIn. Basically, I've got a list of about 10 people that I'm connected with on LinkedIn. They're not necessarily major names. You would know. Some you would. But they're major players in the stuff that we're looking at. And so I sent out one message so far. I haven't heard back from that person yet. And just because he gives me a name of someone doesn't mean that they're necessarily available for an interview right now. But he's giving me a list of some people to ask as would be good for what we're discussing right now in messaging. So, question, are there more rogues like FTX, Gary, and Biden that we have to be aware of? From Wang Terry. Rogue, by definition, refers to a dishonest, untrustworthy person. I would suggest, by sheer numbers, that there are likely some kicking around. It aligns with his worldview, with his view that the financial and political arenas are often populated by individuals whose motives may not align with the public interest. The heroes are the villains are the heroes. Ross Ulbricht getting to come home. This is major news. Can't wait for that, man. I can't wait to talk with Ross on Twitter or him to come on the channel, man. It's going to be amazing. If you didn't know, Donald Trump has, he will pardon him he will pardon him. He is going to do it. So, man, just amazing stuff. Man, Ross is a person who, I'm very clear. I've always said, I believe that there was some, I'm not saying that I agree with the laws that he broke, but there was some stuff, some not great things that were done by a lot of parties involved in the Silk Road and the creation of it and things. But I always said, I thought, man, 10 years would be way more than enough for, consequence. And I think that's going to be about what he ended up. People said 13 years. He didn't go in 2011, did he?
I think it's 12.
But 12 Thanksgiving is probably like barely 11th full year.
Something like that, yeah.
Because that makes sense, because this would have been back in 2011 when Gawker published an article about Silk Road, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin got more and more popular, and Silk Road started blowing up, and then he got arrested, I believe, in 2012, and then, of course, he would have had hearing and trial would have taken a long time. Chuck Schumer was rallying against him, and Praheet Bahar and stuff like that. But anyways, always stay informed. And this is an important part here. He encourages a proactive approach, staying informed and critically evaluating the actions of those in power to navigate the complexities of these environments effectively. Watch the people at the top and what they do. Because we're not going to be able to change the system right now. People aren't smart enough in this country. That's what my mission is to educate people. Okay? People are not smart enough. Low IQ. We got to raise the IQ. Okay? So we can be on par and be able to do things and fight, or to change things, or for it's things that are reasonable, okay? So, we've got a lot to go there, and we have a lot to do. But in the meantime, until we get there, we can navigate this financial arena and make money and flourish and thrive and diversify and invest and get returns and take profits and grow a community. We can do all that. We can get you prepared for the thing that's after crypto. Guys, there's always a thing people are making tons of money on. Always. There's always a new thing, okay? Right? 2000, dot-com bubble, right? Early 2000, before 2000 to 2010, you had Google, right? Then you investment opportunities, and Facebook opportunities, and all these gigantic investment opportunities. Amazon, right? Then you go 2010 to 2020, you see the massive amount of money that was made in Bitcoin and crypto, right? AI is next. It's not just going to stay here in crypto forever only, guys. That's why we're going to look at other opportunities. In quantum computing and commercialization, we are going to be the most cutting edge on quantum computing in the world. We're going to be a more advanced channel on quantum computing than you will get from actual people working on quantum computing. I promise you, because I have the guy that's been working on it forever on my team. So Eric Weinstein, man, that guy, maybe we'll get him on the team one day. I don't know. He's the closest person to the team that's not on the team. He's pretty good, though. Whitney Webb, I got to say something about Whitney Webb. Look, I'm not trying to say anything disrespectful to her. I think she's out there doing the best that she can, like yelling and screaming and stuff. She's right. She is just like Alex Jones. Whitney Webb is Alex Jones right now. There's some things she's dead on about, but there's things that she's so off on that nobody cares. They're like, she's harmless because she's so wrong about a lot of this stuff. Her implying that Trump and Elon and Bezos and all these people, like Mr. X behind them, of course, that they're trying to have some kind of cabal to steal money from everybody. Like, that's not reality, guys. There's an alternative. The same people have been in power ever since you were born. And I can guarantee that because unless you're a time traveler, you were not born before 1820 or around 1820. I'm positive of it. So you've seen the same system your entire life, controlled by the same people. And now there's finally a changing of the guard. There's a new sheriff in town. That's what I keep saying. All right. And this is a great answer to go along with, or a question about the religious stuff. Are any of the events going around the world biblical? It sure sounds like Revelations. It does. It does sound like Revelations. It does. Now listen to the answer. Interesting observation. However, I would suggest that the current state of events are all contrived by some for a specific reason. This perspective aligns with Mr. X's view that many global events are orchestrated by powerful entities to serve particular agendas. He often emphasized the importance of recognizing these influences to better understand the context. But I have a side note here I wanted to read because I read that, and I read it twice with his actual answer. And I said, I followed up, and I asked, basically an AI model that I'm using for some of this stuff. I said, do you feel like Mr. X is implying that nations conspire to make it look like Bible predicted end times are close in order to cause fear to control people? And this is all taken from, some direct quotes, some other things, some articles he sent me. Yes, Mr. X's implication suggests that he views many global events as orchestrated by powerful families, potentially including nations or influential groups, to create narratives that can instill fear and manipulate public perception. By framing current events in a way that aligns with biblical prophecies about the end times, these entities could aim to control populations through fear and uncertainty. You're just missing the D, the doubt. Fear and uncertainty is what drives everything. That's why you're getting informed here. It's the counter. It's the kryptonite to fear and uncertainty, is knowing reality. This aligns with his broader perspective that highlights the strategic use of information and events to influence societal behavior and maintain power dynamics. Interesting stuff there. If Mr. X knows anything about the UK, what does he think about its future and reform UK? Like, does Mr. X know about the UK? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of you, John Milton. I'm saying I do, like, Dad, to say Mr. X doesn't know about a country, he knows everything about every country, I'll tell you that much. He says he has no opinion on politics. I don't care. Some would prefer everyone to believe that political stripes actually exist and matter. That's why I'm not a Republican. Stop saying you're a Republican. Look, vote for the right candidate. But what I'm saying is these parties are fake, guys. They're fake. They're made up, he's telling you, okay? It doesn't mean that every person in the parties is bad or anything, okay? Obviously, you see he likes Trump, or T as he calls him. What truly matters is public sentiment. This response highlights Mr. X's skepticism towards traditional political structures and party lines, emphasizing that genuine change often stems from the collective will of the people rather than from politicians or political movements. The will of the people. And I'm the people's champ. He suggests that understanding and harnessing public sentiment is key to navigating political landscapes and driving meaningful transformation. We can make tons of money in this environment when we understand it. Is Ripple a U.S. government-backed project or proxy from JC Cryptoman? Answer. Ripple is not a U.S. government-backed project. It operates independently, providing blockchain-based solutions for financial institutions. While Ripple collaborates with various financial entities, including some with many government ties, it remains a private company. Mr. X emphasized that the perception of government backing can often be misleading. We've seen it over and over and over again for government backing and government bans on stuff, right? Partnerships with financial institutions do not equate to direct government support. His view underscores the importance of understanding the dynamics of these relationships and recognizing that in the cryptocurrency space, many projects exist outside of government control or influence, and that's good. We want that, right? It's interesting.